Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Paul, I'm with the Dicey Review, and tonight we're going to be learning how to play the Colonies expansion for Terraforming Mars. The Colonies expansion comes with all of the components that you see here, including 49 new project cards, 5 corporation cards, 8 trade fleets, 8 colony track markers, 11 colony tiles, 1 reference tile, and 1 trade fleets tile. The Colonies expansion comes with a number of new corporation and project cards. To differentiate between the base game and the Colonies cards, refer to this symbol in the bottom left of each card. To incorporate the Colonies expansion during setup, first complete a normal setup and then make these following changes. Shuffle the Colony project cards together with the project cards from the base game to form the draw deck. Then shuffle the expansion corporations together with the corporations from the base game as well. You will then deal out 2 corporations to each player like you normally do. If you want to ensure that each player receives one of the new Colonies corporations, simply shuffle each pile of cards separately and deal 1 to each player. They can then choose which corporation they want to start the game with. Then, place the trade fleets tile next to the game board and place 1 trade fleet per player on this tile. Then place a player marker in each player color in the trade fleets. Then shuffle the colony tiles and draw a number equal to 2 more than the player count. In our 3-player example, we'll place 5 colony tiles. Then place these next to the board. It's important to note that in a 2-player game, you will use 5 colony tiles. Then place a white cube on the highlighted start space of each colony tile track. It is important to note that if one of the 3 colonies, Miranda, Enceladus, or Titan are drawn, start with the white cubes on the planet's picture instead of the second space of their track. As soon as a card comes into play that can collect these colonies' resources, this colony will activate and the cube will be placed on the second space of their track. For instance, if the Martian Zoo were to come into play, since it can collect animals, Miranda would be activated immediately when this card is played. It is important to note that players are not able to interact with these colonies at all until they are triggered. After all of this has been done, you're ready to play with the new Colonies expansion. The Colonies expansion incorporates 2 new available actions for players. The first is a new standard project, Building a Colony. To build a colony, a player will pay 17 mega credits on their turn and places 1 of their player markers on the lowest available space of a colony tile of their choice. Each player may only have 1 colony cube per colony tile unless a card ability states otherwise. For instance, the Research Colony allows you to place a colony where you already have one. When a player places a colony, they will also receive a placement bonus. For instance, if a player were to place their cube here, they would increase their mega credit production by 2 steps. And finally, if one of the white cubes is blocking a placement space, the player who places the colony simply moves the white cube to the right and places their player marker as they normally would. The next action that a player can take with the Colonies expansion is to trade with a colony. To take this action, a player pays either 9 mega credits, 3 energy, or 3 titanium, and is then able to move their trade fleet to 1 unoccupied colony. It's important to note that players can't mix resources when paying for this action. They must either pay 9 mega credits, 3 energy, or 3 titanium. It's also important to note that only 1 trade fleet may be on a colony tile at any one time. When this action is taken, the player who is trading will receive the tile's resources equal to the trade value. So for instance, when trading with Callisto, a player would receive 5 energy. Then, if any player were to have a colony cube on this tile, they would also receive the trade bonus. So in total, after taking this trade action, the black player would receive 8 energy and the red player would receive 3. After the trade action is completed, the white marker is moved as far left as possible. This is now the new trade value of the colony tile. At the end of each generation, the white marker on each colony tile will move 1 space to the right. and any trade fleets left on a colony tile would be returned to the trade fleet tile. It's important to note that unless these types of tiles have been activated by their cards coming into play, their cube will not move. Now that we've looked at the multiplayer game, we'll quickly look at how play changes when playing the solo mode. When playing the solo game with the Colonies expansion, use all normal solo rules, but first reduce your mega credit production by 2, and draw 4 colony tiles, but only select 3 to play with. Alright everyone, that was our video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that it was helpful and I hope that it was informative. If you still have any questions at all about how to play this expansion, please comment below or email me directly at thedicey@gmail.com. If you want to hear more from the Dicey Review, you can check out the Dicey Review podcast. It can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn, pretty much any podcast app. You can also read our written reviews at thedicey.review.com and make sure to engage with us on social media or at our Board Game Geek Guild. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.